What is up, guys? Hey, it's April. Welcome to Lean In Warrior, or welcome back. I know it's been kind of hit or miss, but I just want to give you a couple of updates and just talk to you for a second, so stick around. You know what's crazy about creating a channel and getting to know some people such as yourself is that if you go too long without actually uploading anything and talking to your people, I miss you guys. So it's been so interesting to know that I've been really keeping up with this channel since March, back when the lockdown first happened. Things are starting to open up a little bit more now, and life's somewhat trying to get to what a new normal is. And I had uploaded, I think, 5 videos a week back in the day, and then it became like 2 or 3 times a week, and now I'm just trying to figure out like where are we at now on the scale of this YouTube channel, because I do plan to continue to share information about blushing, chronic blushing, my own journey. It's just interesting because, as I told you all, in September, I'm going for a doctor's appointment to address underlying anxiety things that may be contributing to the flushing, as well as some histamine intolerance and some other things around that area. I do think I still should go see an allergist, because an allergist is who's going to actually run that full testing to see if you're actually having an allergic reaction to something. I will say this: I went out on my patio the other day and I was just sitting outside. The pollen is crazy in Tennessee, and everybody's getting sick because of it, which is not good when you've got COVID going on, because all the COVID symptoms look like allergy symptoms and allergy symptoms look like COVID symptoms, and so you're just really nervous when you have a postnasal drip. So I'm super insecure when I go out in public, but I have my mask on and I'm like, don't cough, don't cough, don't cough, and then you just feel like you're gonna die or just have like a cough explosion. So anyway, I was sitting outside on my patio the other day after work, just went out into the outdoor land, and I just started itching and I got splotchy. And that, to me, that is not because I just got hot or I got uncomfortable or I was having some sort of anxious reaction. That, to me, is full on histamine reaction to something in the environment. So I do think there are some environmental factors that are playing in, and I still haven't gone to an allergist to get that checked. That was one of the things back in November I said I was going to do in 2020, and then global pandemic hit. So I do think that that's really important for me to still go to see an allergist, but I'm going to talk to this doctor first in September and see what her suggestions are and just go from there. So I'm excited to see if there is some underlying issues with true environmental things, because I do think it could be. I, again, have not been out in major public settings such as work, which is where I had the most of my reactions in the past. I've gone into the office a couple of times. There's not nearly as many people. I am on Zoom calls. That doesn't make me nearly as anxious or scared as I was before. And I'm just thinking, because I'm so far removed from people right now, I'm not having that kind of reaction because my nervous system is not so overwhelmed. So even though I'm going to see a doctor in a few weeks, I am curious to hear what her thoughts are. And I know I told you guys this already, but I'm that's what I'm waiting for right now, is to go to that doctor's appointment so that then I can update you more here. But in the meantime, I also wanted to talk about how anxiety and depression and things through COVID can just create this internal turmoil for people that we may feel more comfortable because we're not out in public flushing all over the place. And I'm curious to hear your feedback about whether or not you actually feel your nervous system is settling and you're feeling more comfortable because of it, or you actually miss being around people despite the skin flushing. So I'm curious to hear your feedback on where you're at and how that's working out for you. For me personally, I welcome the break. My son just started school, so here in Tennessee in the USA, my son and my daughter my son goes to a private school and my daughter goes to a public school. My daughter's about to be 13 and my son is 7. I felt comfortable sending him to the private school because they are actually putting things in place to try to socially distance. Now, they're 7-year-old. My son's a 7-year-old boy. These are 7-year-old kids. I don't know how much I trust that they're going to actually socially distance, but he's also 7 years old. And just from a fundamental, developmental, social standpoint, I feel like it's really important for him to be with other kids, his peers. And we just weighed out the options, and we felt like that was what would be best for him. My daughter now, she's about to turn 13 in November. She goes to public school. She can do online schooling, and she can FaceTime with her friends. And if I want to take her out somewhere, I can take her out somewhere. So she's a little bit different. So we decided to keep her home instead. But she misses the social interaction. And obviously, when I was 13, I would really miss my social interaction as well. But even as an adult, there's a lot of things that I've had to make myself show up to, and things I may have to make myself do because it's required of me in my working environment. It feels kind of good to recluse a little bit, but I also know it's important to stay in that social setting, because that is what it makes us better. It makes us better equipped, and it keeps us in the mindset to keep showing up, especially if people is what kind of triggers you. So there's that. The other little update I wanted to give you all is, I don't know if I've told you this yet, but I'm working on my second book. So my first book, Pressing Forward, this is a memoir about my struggle with anxiety and depression. It was written, the concept of it was written in 2011. I rewrote it in 2017 and published it in 2017. And it's really just my story about fighting through fear and anxiety, realizing that it wasn't about running away from these things that scared me most. It was about truly leaning into them. This was before I taglined lean in, but the book is about leaning in pretty much, and my experience through heavy religion and trying to find my place on this scale of good and bad and in between, and where do I fall in it, and what contributed to a lot of my anxiety and depression to the point of suicide, at one point suicidal ideations. So memoir, got it, check. Some of you may or may not know that my true writing style is very slam poetry type writing. So my new book that I've been working on has a lot of my poetry in there, and it's just about the human experience overall. It's about the good, the bad, the ups, the downs, a lot of the discovery of life and death through my dad's journey. So I've been working on that, and recently talked to a local artist who is actually going to do some of the illustrations throughout the book. So I'm so excited, but there's just some cool things coming down the line, which is why I haven't been as active here. It's kind of hard to manage all of that, but we are working on some things, my husband and I, through the chronic blushing and skin flushing window that I'm super excited to share with you, but I can't share it yet. I'll share it soon. And yeah, just some things coming down the line. Been super busy at work, so I feel like I'm just calling you right now to check in. Hey, my friends, haven't heard from you in a while. Or I guess today's day, I'll just text you. So this is me texting you right now. So that's what this video is. If you're a newcomer and you're bored and you made it this far, then hopefully you weren't bored. Go back and watch some of my other videos. But for those of you who have been in sync with this channel and who I consider my tribe and me your tribe, I just wanted to make a quick phone call to you and let you know what's been going on. And I hope you're having a great start to your week. And I'll see you in my next video. I'm not gonna leave you hanging too long. See ya.